Hello and welcome to World of Tanks with Trapsikis. Now, this tank has been under discussion quite a lot on several different channels about how it's underpowered, and with regards to gun handling, I do agree, but this replay might change your opinion if you agree with me. So we're looking at one of my clanmates, Willy Wings. Thank you very much for sending me this replay. And he displays a lot of the skills that you require to play with a tank like this. Because it's not very heavily armored, you need to be very aware of where your enemies are and very aware of your angles. That's in addition, you also need to wait patiently for the bloom to minimize, for the gun to be fully aimed. Even if fully aimed, this gun tends to miss, so if you're not fully aimed, chances are you're not gonna hit the same postcode you are aiming for. Point in case, you'll see the KV-1 over there. It's not fully aimed in and shot goes too high. With 212 mil of penetration, you would have penetrated almost any place on the KV-1. However, due to the extra maybe second that he should have aimed, he didn't actually manage to hit him. Right, now Willy Wings notices that his opposite number, the enemy AMX M4 is in a bit of a tight spot there. He's got a couple of tanks coming through in that channel, or in the hallway there, and he's got his back turned to Willy Wings, which obviously Willy Wings is going to punish him for. And here he does something very clever. He tracks him in such a way that he can't shoot back and keeps him tracked. If you have the opportunity to do this, I will always recommend it. You can farm damage safely. Enemy is unable to shoot back, probably swearing at you, but that's his problem. Kill number 1. Right. So the opposite number is taken care of, which is the most dangerous gun on the enemy team. And now Willy Wings can continue to look for some more enemies. However, the rest of his team isn't doing that well. 2 enemies down, 4 friendlies down. It's not a very good start, but the fat lady hasn't sung yet. Right, the Nashorn there behind the building, so no line there. And here Willy does something clever again. He instead of shooting through the building and taking a chance, he backs up a little bit and gets a good shot. Unfortunately, the SU there is reloaded, and they exchange shots. Fortunately, Willy Wings eliminates the SU, but he takes over 400, a slightly high roll there, and continues to farm the Nashorn, who's not really paying attention to him. Now the Thunderbolt lands a shot, and Willy moves up to 4 kills, angling his tank correctly for the Thunderbolt and bouncing the next shot. As I've mentioned, with this tank you have to angle perfectly, otherwise you won't be bouncing shots. And now Willy demonstrates that you should wait for the bloom. Even though you're reloaded, don't press the button, wait for it, and then take your shot. And you've got a much higher chance to hit, because the gun handling on this tank is very disappointing, especially considering that it's got the worst armor for a tier 7 heavy and the best penetration. You would expect that it's a bit of a sniping tank. However, with the accuracy being so bad and the aim time being very, very bad, this tank doesn't snipe well. You need to brawl, you need to be up close and personal. However, if you're not top tier, you don't stand a chance of bouncing a lot of your enemy shots. And now you see your friendly GW Panther there doing something very unsmart. To swear at your friendlies while they're trying to make up for the game that you're trying to throw is bad. Shut up, look at the game, or move on to your next game. Don't interfere with the game, don't bother your allies. They're trying to win for you. Just don't. Right, Willy, noticing that he's got enough time to go reset, over half a minute left, so he eliminates the T-67. And you'll notice that Willy still has only fired AP rounds in this game, which on this tank as a rule is a very good idea, simply because your HE shells aren't very effective, and your AP, because of the high penetration, is very reliable. Even the sloped turret or hull front of the German Jumbo is no problem. Unfortunately, the Jumbo tracking in place and doing some damage. But Willie manages to secure kill number 8. Up to 2,709 damage. Very impressive for a tier 7 heavy. But it's not over yet. You'll see if you look at the minimap that the 82 is attempting to cap, but was just reset probably by the M12. So you shouldn't bank on the capping here. There's 2 enemies against 1 friendly, so his chances aren't very good. The SU-100Y, you'll also see on the minimap, is wisely following Willie. So if Willie gets into trouble, then the SU will probably have an opportunity to at least take out the enemy that is giving him a hard time. Unfortunately, the Chaffee, being very fast and smart enough to fall back and regroup with his allies, not providing Willie with a shot. Now you'll notice that Willie has 6th sense on this tank, and he's told me that he doesn't have any additional skills. Unfortunately, the RT giving him a kiss there. And he's running a gun rammer and gun laying drive and binocs. Personally, I would exchange the binocs for vents, but obviously that's very expensive on a heavy tank, so one might not see the benefit necessarily. And personally, I would try to get brothers in arms before getting 6th sense, but he may still be upskilling to retrain. Anyway, back to the game. Now, Willie knows that the enemy knows he's in this area, so he's trying to side-scrape in such a way that enemies would bounce off of him, and he's switched to HE just in case the enemy KV-1 is side-scraping well. But the element of surprise being very important in this game, especially in a tank with not very good armor, he's relocating to try to surprise his enemies. So the SU looking after the base very wisely. If the Chaffee gets around Willie and starts capping, then the SU will have a good opportunity to one-shot him. With an average damage of 440 and the Chaffee only 360 hit points, one shot should be more than enough to take care of him. I'm just going to speed up a little bit here. Now, Willie has already reused his medkit to resurrect his commander, so his view range is, I would say, just over 400, and now the Chaffee appears. You'll notice the bloom not fully aimed in, and he misses again. Once again, the issue with this tank, bloom is quite wide and it takes a long time to shrink, so do yourself a favor, wait for the full aim time and then fire. Right, now this is a tricky situation. Willie knows that the enemy knows exactly where he is, and he's expecting the KV-1 to come from his left. So, do you expose your side armor and go for the Chaffee, or do you expose your side armor to the Chaffee? And now, fortunately, the KV-1 comes from the same direction. If you're on the enemy team here, I would recommend attempt to flank your enemy so that he has more than one direction to cover for, especially with this tank, because it doesn't have very good armor. If you've got your side or rear to anyone, you're screwed. Fortunately, I don't think that was on purpose. Willie moves back just as the enemy artillery fires, and the shot goes over his tank. Otherwise, with the amount of hit points remaining, he probably would have died. And now the enemy artillery does something stupid here. He starts ramming Willie, which obviously provides him with the opportunity to shoot back. And with the M12's reload being so long, there's plenty of time for Willie to turn around and pay his full attention to him. Right, now the enemy Chaffee is on 12 hit points. So in this situation, I would recommend switching to HE, because you can even kill your enemy with a splash or a tracking shot like he just provided there. However, with AP, if you just hit the edge of your enemy, you're not going to take those 12 hit points. The Chaffee being obviously a lot faster than the AMX, you don't want to overcommit into a direction and then provide him the opportunity to go around. And now, not fully aimed in, AMX doesn't disappoint, still misses. So once again, Willie, in this scenario, I would recommend that you switch over to HE. But even a slight hit could kill your enemy, but well done. You pre-aimed correctly and managed to secure the kill there. Woolly Wings, I'm giving you a garage slot for this game. Thank you for sending it in to me. And let's move over to the post-game stats. Right, so Ace Tanker, not surprising, with a whopping experience of 7,290. The much loved Fool's Medal there. Steel Wall, very surprising for this tank. Top Gun, Ace Tanker, High Caliber, and Defender. Moving on to the team details, you'll notice that no one on Willy's team managed to secure more than one kill. However, the Nashorn did do a respectable amount of damage. And his base experience 1620, quite impressive. The enemies, top XP 413, not bad for the jumbo, but unfortunately he did not manage to do quite enough to deter Willy. On the personal details, you'll notice that he's running a premium account which managed to push his profit up to nearly 70,000 credits, and due to the personal reserves, that whopping XP total was achieved. Congratulations, Woolly Wings, on this very good replay. Thank you for sending to me, and thank you for watching.